What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Harmon Jr. Please follow me on all your favorite social media sites at Harmon Jr. Ding!
And I'm Fradette. Please find me at all your favorite social media sites at ToonVelo. We have an exciting episode for you today. We are going to be breaking down Pokemon Go Battle. It launched, debuted earlier in the week. So what are our thoughts and impressions on that?
We'll also be talking about My Hero Academia again. In the manga, they have revealed a evil doctor villain. I don't know what I was going for there. And he had a very upsetting name. So we're getting name changes. So we're going to talk about that and other video game characters, people in art who've had name changes from the east to the west and various reasons why.
But first and foremost, we're going to be discussing Amazon's new Echo for kids. Specifically how they're now in hot water, potentially, with the FTC. So let's give a little bit of backstory here. So, Odell, do you know what Copa is? And hint, it's not a cabana. Oh, at the Copa Cabana.
No, I knew what you were talking about, but not you made that connection. I was just like, how did I never see it before?
It's so obvious.
I believe Copa is a federal organization that regulates what we can and can't do when advertising, social media, technology, especially the kids, but just not really just with everything.
So
they're the overseers.
So close. They're not an organization themselves. COPA is just a law. It stands for the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and the organization that does it is the FTC. Right? So
it's a law initiated by an organization.
Right. So
down with the FTC.
Jeet pie. But this is actually not a new law. It came up, I want to say it was passed in 1998 and took effect in the year 2000, at the dawning age of the internet.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, exactly like you said, it was meant to protect children from the rapid growth of online marketing.
Because we can't trust parents to do that.
Nope. It's always someone else's fault.
Damn wrestling.
Right?
I'm sorry, quick pause. Do you remember back in the late 90s how wrestling was to blame for gun violence and regular violence and the rise in crime and the reason I'm poor.
And then it was the satanic Yu-Gi-Oh cards, what with their summoning gods and such. But so while it doesn't have specific rules saying exactly what needs to be done because, well, how can you anticipate what the internet will do next? It does have some general guidelines that will be applicable later. So things such as online sites must display clear and downloadable consent forms. It must often require parents use credit cards to authenticate age and identity, requiring parents to call toll-free numbers, accepting emails from parents. Basically, a whole bunch of things right? Basically, every time you've ever logged on, it's get a parent or guardian to sign this form. That's COPA.
And when they ask you to verify your age by just promising that you're 18 and up.
Yes. So I want to get a little bit more sidetracked backstory here. So most recently, COPA has been in the news because it hit hard against YouTube / Google
/ content creators like us
/ content creators because YouTube was using privacy to market to kids. And so YouTube's solution was that it's going to slap down against content creators, marking them as child-friendly and therefore not available to receive funds.
Yeah, so if you're child-friendly, as in you don't curse, you keep it clean, you're demonetized.
Damn it.
Damn you for being wholesome. No money for you. We need vulgar language, obscenity, nudity, vulgarity,
ludity, crudity, bad attitudity,
lunacy.
But yeah, and so so YouTube has changed their algorithm and all this nonsense, which makes no sense because there's already a YouTube Kids, which again, if you're I understand that parents can't regulate everything always, right? Like an older brother or sister when they're at school, a gullible grandparent, kids can trick people or get around these things. They're not infallible by any means, but
I'm blaming the parents.
Right, but at the end of the day,
no, because think about it. How many times have you been in public and your nice dinner conversation with friend has been ruined by a kid on YouTube who doesn't understand volume control. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, and you're in a public setting, put on some damn headphones, or at least turn down the volume. Turn it down. A little bit.
Yep.
I'm screaming right now to force you to turn down the volume if you're in public. Damn it. I had to say damn it so we couldn't be kid friendly and possibly make money from this.
Exactly. So now enter Amazon's Echo for Kids. And so a child advocacy group has already filed complaints with the FTC saying that Amazon is illegally already collecting data on children. And so, it's because it's just the Amazon Echo Dot. That's all. I mean,
it's the same Echo. Does it even have any child parameters in it?
Yeah, I mean, it won't, if anything's been flagged already as X-rated, parents can say, oh, I don't like them listening to that rap music. Oh, that Shakira with her hips. I know they lie. I don't care what she says. They can go and tweak those things. But regardless...
I mean, but you can already do that in a regular Echo Dot.
This is true. But, mommy and daddy want to have their Echo Dot for mommy and daddy time.
You're right.
You
know what? We talked about this before. I think it was during Christmas. Why does every event always give away Echo Ammo Dots for free? You know what? That's part of the scheme.
Because, right, it's not about monitoring content or not. It's about getting Echo Dots in your home to listen in on your conversations.
I've literally had in my possession 3 Amazon Echo Dots for various reasons that have all been regifted.
No, yeah, you give those away because I don't want Jeff Bezos listening in on what I'm doing. We'll come back to that in just a second. But additionally, besides privacy issues, Amazon doesn't even bother to say, ask a parent or guardian. It just goes, okay, are you an adult? Right, it doesn't even meet the minimal bears guidelines.
Right. I gotta find this video. It was circulating on Twitter. It's this little 4-year-old white girl. Her being white is pertinent to the story.
Okay.
So, and I don't know why she's filming herself because, with TikTok now, I guess that's what kids love to do, be on TikTok.
Right. It's not Byte? I heard that was the next thing.
Is it really?
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Full circle exclusive. Okay, but TikTok.
All right, so, and she's like, hey, Alexa. She's like, play Pop, Lock, and Drop It, but keep it down so mommy don't hear. And it starts playing, and she's like, pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, and she's dancing and singing along to the song. Mm-hmm. And it's just so funny, because, I'm pretty sure she knows Alexa's not a real person, but in the context of when she's talking to Alexa, mm-hmm. and, with the added of, we gotta keep it down. I think, either mommy's there or mommy's about to get home. Mm-hmm. So she's telling Alexa, play it, but also at a low volume. And then, she proceeds to dance, sing along to the song. And it's cute because she's 4. Mm-hmm. If she was 16, it would probably not be cute anymore, but...
Right.
But yeah, so I was just yeah. I mean, they already know how to use it pretty damn well.
Right. And, there's like we've said at the beginning of the segment, and now, just claiming that you're an adult is a laughable gate because, anybody can just check that box. Robots can check that box. And they don't even have age.
But can they tell you in which particular pictures there are stairs?
Ooh, it is more difficult.
But yeah, can we?
But can all the pictures with cars? Well, there's a part of a car in that one. Does that count? That one's technically a truck. Does that count?
This dude's on a bike.
That doesn't count. No. Right. Okay. But then back to a privacy issue. So. This is, of course, on the heels of, other revelations that Siri from Apple would activate, right? Because these devices don't just activate when you call out their name. They activate for whatever or what they think is their name. So Siri last year was found to activate anytime it hears zippers.
Why?
I don't know, right? Because you're thinking, okay, zippers, where do those occur? Well, in the bathroom and the bedroom. Neither of those do I want listened in on.
I'm like, does it have the same cadence frequency as Siri?
Eerie? Maybe? Right? But it's just so all these smart devices...
So I know this has happened to you quite frequently. It happens to me on occasion. But your phone always, for some reason, thinks you're talking to it. Just always.
To be fair, in segments such as this, where we've mentioned the word Google a lot... That is actually specifically the activation for the phone. So
no, but you know what I'm saying. There's been times it would be I want turkey for dinner. I would never want turkey for dinner. And it's just like
finding turkey near you.
Yeah, and it's like
no, stop that. Bad. Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Is it even cheaper than the regular Echo Dot?
What?
The kids one.
I did not look at the pricing.
I swear it's the same price.
It's probably. But it does come in fun rainbow colors. And
so you know it's for kids.
So you know it's for kids, as well as stock photos of it playing with the stuffed animals with the kids.
Wow.
Yeah. And those will have been displayed prominently here for our viewers.
Just wow.
Yeah. So all of that is bad and going forward. But speaking of bad things and moving forward, the writer for My Hero Academia is in a bit of hot water, as recently one of the villains, Dr. Durama Ojiko, his real name, his civilian name, has been revealed to be Maruta Shiga.
And for those who aren't familiar with Japanese culture, which we weren't before the controversy, but now we're experts. Ding!
Right? I barely registered the name because, admittedly, again, it's Japanese and I speak English. I was like, neat.
So during one of the World Wars.
World War II.
World War II, there was a Japanese doctor who performed inhumane human experiments.
Well, it's more broader than that. I have... Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So, Maruta is a word in Japanese that means logs. And so, this is what the Imperial Japanese Army Unit 731 referred to all the prisoners and victims in their camps. So
logs?
As logs. And like...
LOGS.
Yeah. So, like, bring me another log. Let's see what happens. Let's see how long they can live without a heart. Bring me another log. Let's see how long they can live with open leg wounds. And so they just perpetually would experiment on these logs, quote unquote.
So, yeah, this doctor's named after...
The term logs.
Which also has correlation with inhumane human experimentation.
Right. Right, so it's a pretty direct reference... Because that's exactly what the villain does.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the Nomu, they are...
his babies.
They are, inhumane human experimentations. But now people have powers, so they're like, doubly inhumane? I don't know. They do some crazy stuff.
Right.
So, it makes sense. The name correlation with what the name means in Japanese culture and what the doctor actually does makes 100% sense. It's just in very poor taste.
Right. And so... he's released an apology as well as future going forward that the name will be changed. He did not mean this to be offensive or to bring up bad feelings. He just thought it was a neat reference, which I guess it is technically.
I wouldn't say neat. It was just on the nose.
Right? Yeah.
It was just, it's like, his name your doctor's Adolf Hitler because, he's imprisoning people. And but it's like, well, yeah, we get it.
We get the reference, by which we mean it's a direct thing. Yeah.
And so he promised in future iterations and in the volume. Yeah, and so when the volumes are released, the every 10 chapters, they'll change the name. And so they got us thinking, what other characters in, nerd culture, video games, comics, movies, TVs have had name changes for various legal reasons, horrible reasons, or just cultural differences?
Right. So... do we want to... I have a few.
Yeah, so I'll start it off with... So, we're all familiar with Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then the original game had 8 characters. Street Fighter 2 specifically, the one that launched into stardom. And, we all know, the Chun-Li, the Ryus, the Guile, the Kens, etc.
Raiden? Oh, wait, is that Street... No, that's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's Mortal Kombat.
Sorry.
And so, two of the most famous characters is Balrog, the villain. Well, they're both villains. And then M. Bison. M. Bison is the big bad. He's got the red cap. Ho, ho, ho. Broad soldiers. Uses psychokinetic powers. So, originally, his name was Balrog. And the boxer who was Balrog in Americas was M. Bison. Which, if you see the character, he's directly based off Mike Tyson. Get it? M. Bison, yeah, Mike Tyson. You get it? So when the game was localized in the West, they realized, man, we can be sued a shit ton for this. So instead of coming up with a new name, they just switched two of the characters' name.
Da, 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 da.
So Balrog, the evil bad guy, became M. Bison, and the boxer became Balrog. And there you go.
Easy peasy.
Easy
nice and
peasy
clean.
and no lawsuit.
Right.
Because the guy that's with your name is a super general from made up nation and has psychokinetic powers. That's
no
clearly
connections
not you.
whatsoever.
So that's a fun fact.
Right. Let's see. So, okay, I'll I think I have more than you, so I'm going to blow through a few if you don't
All right.
mind. So, I've got one from Pokemon in the original. Like, this has no reason whatsoever. Just literally in the English version, like the characters Eugene and Jackson later get arbitrarily renamed Eugene and Vincent. Not confusing at all. Then I got two more from Yu-Gi-Oh! So, in the manga, and I guess I'll just go with in the manga, right? The card, the Dark Necrophilia, was originally called Dark Necrophilia.
Well, that's obvious.
Yep, that one's a pretty, like, I don't know how they thought they were going to get away with that one. And then sort of the next one also from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like the M. Tyson story. So they renamed Maximilian Pegasus from Pegasus J. Crawford. Why would they do that? There's no billionaires named Pegasus or Maximilian. Because his wife's name is Cecilia Crawford, which would then sound suspiciously like Cynthia Crawford, the actress.
Huh.
So now her name is Cecilia Pegasus. No connection whatsoever.
You know, I don't know if anyone would have dug deep enough to connect that one.
Right,
That one's like, it was being cautious, but I don't think anyone would have threaded that needle.
Right, but a little preemptive things after such big mistakes as Dark Necrophilia, let's just go ahead and avoid any controversy.
So I have some fun ones. So this one I liked. So we all know Sonic movies coming up,
Right.
and we all know Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik.
Uh-huh.
And we also know they frequently call Dr. Robotnik Eggman. So Eggman was just his original Japanese name because he looks like an egg and he is a man.
Right.
Eggman.
Well, also in the original comic, he was fused with a rotten egg.
Huh.
Right. It was just right. That's how he came into being.
Just this whole egg theme.
Yes.
And so when it got localized in the Western market, you know, they were just like, this guy, he's a roboticist. He messes with animals. We're just going to call him Dr. Robotnik, which I actually...
He roboticizes things. That makes sense, too.
And, you know, it's cool because usually when America renames characters, it's like usually horrible.
Oh, no. Tristan. Joey from Brooklyn.
So, yeah, and it was kind of one of those things where, he got renamed in the West, and I guess the Japanese also thought, hey, Robotnik, that's not bad. And then the two names soon became synonymous and just interchangeable.
Right, it just kind of fused together. Since you mentioned Sonic, can I jump in too?
Yeah.
Okay, so Amy Rose was first called Princess Sally in the American Sonic the Hedgehog.
Not confusing at all.
To try and specifically tie her into the cartoon. Needless to say, that went really bad. So then she first came back as named as like Amy, like E-I-M-Y, and just had the nickname Rosie the Rascal, like trying to again float that together, but no, they swiftly broke that apart because they are different characters, and that was a poor attempt to try and merge.
All right, so here are two more cases of this is Americans being bad. So, contrary to popular belief, Princess Peach's name in Japanese was always Princess Peach. But, because some people will say, oh, she was called Princess Toadstool, and then mention, no, she was always Princess Peach. When she came over to the Americas, people were like, why is she a peach? The people are toads. This makes no sense. That's stupid. So we're going to call her Princess Toadstool, and that's how she remained in America until Mario 64.
Quite a while.
Yeah, so all the 2D Mario, she is Princess Toadstool. And even in the Mario Kart 80s cartoon, she is still Princess Toadstool. And then in Mario 64, they finally gave back her original name of Peach, which I think was already fine, and they should have just kept it.
Right.
And so
because it's not a weird Japanese word that Americans would struggle with.
Yeah. So this one is actually kind of funny and horrible. So y'all know Mega Man, right? The Blue Bomber.
Mm-hmm.
He's an icon across the world. Some may not know Mega Man is not his original name, and not only is it not his original name, he's only known that in the West. In Japanese, and I'm assuming some other cultures, he still goes by his regular name, Rockman, or just Rockman. Like his name is Rockman, and if you look, that's why all the other things, the Robot Masters are also rock themes. And apparently, his name is a play on rock, paper, scissors because, you know, there's Scissors Man, there's Gus Man. Apparently, there's this whole, naming convention thing that only works in Japanese, but I guess it could work in English too since we have Jankin. So you're wondering, how did Rockman become Mega Man? So in the early 90s, a VP of Capcom, when they got the game, he literally said, that is a stupid ass name. I hate it. And dubbed him Mega Man. That's literally what happened. There wasn't no cultural reason. One guy at Capcom, way back when, said that was stupid and called him Mega Man. Which,
easy peasy.
Mega Man, I guess, I think it just sounds cool. I think it does. I don't know if Rockman...
Well, I mean, we in the West love things like Ultraman, Superman, Mega Man.
Rockman's too plain.
Too plain.
But yeah, like, I just think... I think it's funny that one man could have had that power at the time just to be like... So, it's literally... This is horrible. It's literally akin to, like, back in the old immigration days of America, like, my name is Sue Chung. Hello, Tim. Susie.
Yeah, hi, Susan. Got it. Steven. Cool, thanks. Okay, so I've got two more.
All right.
So in Crash Bandicoot 2, Tiny Tiger's name was originally Taz Tiger. But yeah, and you can see where that immediately butts up against the Tasmanian Devil. He's even supposed to be like a thylacine, like a Tasmanian Devil, like in the game, despite being called just anywho. So yeah, they quickly dropped that. But in some sub-menus, you can still see like it's called Taz. And the last one is, of course, I'm surprised you didn't bring up this one, from Adventure Time. The Lich was first aired being called the Lich King, which is, of course, a actual literal character on World of Warcraft. So we can't have that. That's a bit too much.
I did have other examples, but these are more local things, like how, Ash has a different name in Japanese. Those are just
those are just technical.
Yeah, and it's literally like, I get it. Like, Tai in Digimon, his name isn't Tai Chi because that's just hard to say a whole bunch of times.
Right. But since you mentioned Ash and Pokemon, Pokemon Go Battle.
Woo! So, if you don't know, this week, just all of a sudden, really, I feel like they made that announcement and they were like, hey, and it's going to be here right now.
Right.
Usually Pokemon Go's like in a couple of months.
Right.
So we now have the battle system where you can battle your friends. Well, you can already battle your friends.
You can battle anyone now.
Yeah, and they have leagues. You rank up, you do stuff. And so, yes, for Pokemon Go players who never played a core game, if you want, you can finally be a true Pokemon master by battling up the ranks. Which, all right, first complaint. You don't really battle up the ranks. You just battle and rank up.
Right.
Regardless of win or loss. You battle 5 times, you get a new rank.
Yes.
And then the prizes, okay, so for each battle you win, it's in blocks of 5. For every battle you win, you win a prize, and then they get better each time. So if you win all 5 battles, you get the ultimate prize for that set.
Exactly.
But the prizes aren't that good.
Well, I found that when I've gotten 4, I can usually get a Pokemon that I've liked that I haven't had before. I got a Scraggy.
I got a Scraggy.
Yeah. It's pretty good. and obviously, the higher rank you go, the better Pokemon you would then have access to.
Do we know? Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, because when you click,
like, will it guarantee you a Pokemon you don't have before?
No, not that. But I'm saying like just rarer Pokemon.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll never see another Scraggy again, probably.
Nope. But you only need one, and you can walk with him and be your buddy.
Yeah. So the battle system works exactly how we've been battling people before. You get 2 shields. You tap 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 tap. And since I'm not fighting a friend and I'm not fighting the PC, starting to see some cracks in the system there.
Right.
Some horrible cracks.
So now, obviously, lag is playing some part in this because definitely whenever I try and use my charge attack on various times, it won't go for several seconds, and then I'll lose that round because it didn't read my inputs. But also on the flip side of that, definitely it's either glitching or has some sub-mechanism that it's not letting us in on. Because I've experienced several times people getting multiple charge attacks back to back. Like, come out, brand new Pokemon, never attacked me before, charge attack.
I've had the thing where they'll use their charge attack, cool, throw up a shield, literal 2 seconds later, which is not enough time to charge anything on the planet. Especially when I have, like, I'm going to say, like, 90% of mine, and it's just like, I'm, like, 1 tap away, and they do another charge attack, and I'm just like, how?
Right? The fact that I'm somehow receiving residual damage while shielded. Right? Like, I'll throw up a shield. Like, I'll have maybe a fourth of my health left. Throw up a shield. The shield goes down. I faint anyway. What happened there?
My thing with residual damage is, so, here's the lag thing. If your Pokemon comes out first before you technically see your opponent's Pokemon, if you're tapping, that Pokemon's coming out with damage. If you switch, both Pokemon, so the Pokemon that is switching is going to still be taking damage as the animation plays, and the Pokemon coming out will be taking damage as his animation plays to enter the battle, thus meaning your retreating Pokemon has now sustained damage, and your Pokemon entering the fray has now sustained damage for free, essentially.
Right. And let's put a pin in that just ever so briefly while we get into like meta things, because I wanted to, you know what? I lost my train of thought. We'll just jump into Odell.
So speaking of meta things, so Pokemon Go is very Pokemon light in the sense that a lot of real-term battle mechanics don't work. Like, Ghost Pokemon can attack normal Pokemon can attack Ghost Pokemon. And we get it, because the game would be broken if we had, like, zero effect damage, and there really wouldn't be anything you can do, because you just wouldn't. But now we're adding in moves that boost and lower stats, which Pokemon Go has never done before until right now.
Right, and thus far in the app, there's still no explanation for what does what. Now, obviously, some things are pretty apparent, like Power Up Punch probably powers up, but even like Earth Powers, like now you've lowered your attack. Why?
Yeah, and for Poke experts like us, or anyone who's just played the core games, it makes sense. We've been used to these things. These moves correspond to what they do in the core game. So if my Infrared uses what's the name of the attack?
Close combat.
Yeah, close combat. His defenses are lowered, special defense and regular defense. But a regular person will be like, why are my defenses lowered? Why would this have this effect? And these effects happen if the move connects or not. So if someone uses a shield and someone uses Power Up Punch, they still get powered up despite not making contact. If my close combat gets blocked, then my defenses are still lowered.
Right. You went in a different meta. I thought you were going to go in the meta direction of like, what is the meta developing for successful gameplay?
Oh, nothing. Just tap. Just tap and look.
I will. And as I mentioned, making someone your buddy, because that instantly makes them like twice as powerful.
Yeah, for like
it's crazy.
I've only played one person that had like a best buddy, and it was a Latias, and like they literally killed my entire team just with the Latias. I had no chance. It was so overpowering that I was instantly like, all right, so if I want to win this and become unstoppable, I need to just get 3 Pokemon, be my buddy, and the world is mine.
That's exactly what I'm aiming to do here.
And so I guess for your discussion, the meta in-game, the only thing I can really see besides tapping, and I'm not even sure if tapping faster even works. Like, I feel like there's a set number of taps, and like your Pokemon has to do like, so I honestly feel like if you tap like at just a good rhythm, you're probably getting the same amount of taps as...
Oh yeah, no, there's the whole raid battle sites that tell you exactly how much damage per second a Pokemon is capable of inflicting. And so if you were curious about that, you can break those down pretty quickly.
Yeah, so you could throw up a shield to, eat a super attack, and choosing to not use a shield or use a shield is the only real meta strategy you can do.
Only strategy here.
And because also you're like, oh, well, I'll just attack first, my super move first. Well, that's really depending on the Pokemon, which... If the Pokemon has a faster move that charges up faster, there's really nothing you can do.
Right. But, yeah.
It just kind of sucks overall. Like, just to be honest.
Okay, let's wrap up this segment here nicely. I don't think either of us are trying to advocate that it adhere to turn-based Pokemon format, because obviously it's a mobile game based on tapping. We get that. But definitely, if they could, like if a new Pokemon comes out, let's just do another countdown, 3, 2, 1. If they could just look into these things that either seem to be glitches or lags and tighten them up, give us explanations for things, I think that would go a long way.
I feel like it works. When you're fighting the PC, these mechanics kind of work. Because, but like person to person, they're really lacking. And granted, I'm not trying to say, because you level up, regardless if you win or lose, you level up.
It's true.
So... But it's really hard for me to get into it because I just kind of feel like I'm just kind of letting stuff happen. Because honestly, if you just keep tapping, you'll automatically throw up the shield anyway.
Yeah.
So honestly, like I was battling at work and I just did this. And then eventually look down and see if I won or lost.
Nice. But we hope you're all winners here on Full Circle Podcast, especially our patrons who help fund us. They are here. You can be a member for just $1 a month.
$1.
It's amazing. So join us next week for more exciting things. I'm Jared Fradette. You can find me at Toon Velo.
And I'm Harmon Jr. You can find me at Harmon Jr. Have a great week, everybody.